Hello, Truth Seekers. This lesson, as I promised, is about living your life on purpose. Now, what do I mean by that? Look, on purpose, we use it all the time. You did that on purpose, he does that on purpose. It often has a negative connotation to it. But the on purpose that I'm talking about is actually doing something, understanding what your purpose is. You see, how can you live your life on purpose if you don't know what your purpose is? Now, it's the question, isn't it? It's the ever asked question of what is the meaning of life? Okay? But we don't have to get into that depth. What we need to ask really is, what is the meaning of me? What is my meaning here? What is my purpose here on earth? Once you understand that, then suddenly everything becomes easier. I suppose it's like, you're walking through a maze in life. Life is a maze of decisions and turning points. And if you haven't got a map, if there's no map, how do you know where you're going? You have to use your intuition, which is good. It's good, but imagine that you have a map, the most simplistic map that you can follow. And every time that you come to a decision in your life, you just look at your map and say, which way is it, left or right? And the map will always tell you which way. Okay. Nearly always. Maybe sometimes you have two fantastic decisions to make and it's very difficult. Then you trust your intuition. So what I'm going to show you is how to work out your purpose in life. And it's very easy. Now, to do this, I need you to have a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. Can you do that? If you haven't got a piece of paper and a pencil and pen, please do that now. Right, so this is what we're going to do. To find your purpose, we are going to talk about you. You're going to think about you. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is this. I want you to think about 3 words that describe who you are. Now, these are describing words. These are adjectives. So for example, it could be enthusiastic, happy, dedicated. Yeah, do you get the picture? Now, what we're going to do is I want you to write down 3 words when you are at your best. This is 3 words that is the best of you. You couldn't get any better. This is when you are on fire. Okay? And if you're struggling with it, lots of people struggle to look for good words to describe themselves. Truly, it's very sad, but lots of people are very good at giving you bad words about themselves, but not so good about giving good words. All of your life, people have given you these words to describe you. All of your life, people have told you, hey, you are. The people who love you, the people who admire you, tell you these words. So if you're struggling, just think of what people tell you. That you are this, you are this, you are this. All right? And I want the top 3, like the 3 that really stand out to describe you. So do that now. Write those. Just pause the video. Take the time that you need to write them. Okay? And then come and join me again. So, now you should have 3 words, 3 adjectives describing words that are you at your best, that are describing you when you are at the top of your game. Right? So just put them to one side. Well, you don't have to, they're on your paper, so there they are. Now we're going to do the same, but we're going to do this with words that are naming words, all right, nouns. But there's something special about them. They're nouns, but they're nouns that come from verbs, from doing words. They tend to end with in English. So for example, it could be a helper, right, which comes from the verb to help. So how you find them is to say, I like to when I'm at the top of my game, when I'm really, really in touch with who I am, I really like to. Now, just before you start to write, I must insist on one thing. We are now in the realm of service to others. In fact, if you are not at least 51% service to others, you need to rethink your life, because we have moved away from service to self. The people who are stuck in the old paradigm, who are in the spell, under the spell, they are in service to self. That is not where we are. And I'm assuming that everybody who's doing this is awake. All right? So the words that you are going to come up with are always going to be words that you like to do to other people. All right? So it might, whatever it is, helping and teaching or, and showing and all of that. Things that you like, supporting, whatever. All right? So always what you do to other people, what you like, how you like to help other people. Okay? So those words come from what you like to do, and then you convert it, if it's possible, into an So exactly, as I said, it might be, I like to help. So you're a helper. Yeah? Or I like to teach. So the word you're going to put down is teacher. I like to support, a supporter. Yeah? Or I like to facilitate, so a facilitator. So whatever it is that you like. And I want you to give yourself three of those things that you like when you're on fire, when you're in the zone, when you're really enjoying yourself. So take time to think about that now. Pause the video, take the time, write the words down, so they're all going to have an on the end, right? And then when you're done, come back and join me. Okay, so now we should have 3 describing words, describing you at your finest, and then 3 kind of naming words, but the doing words as well, that describe you when you're at your finest. Okay, it's what you are when you're at your finest. Now, all that we're going to do is this. I want you to look at the 3 words that you have describing you, and I want you to score them. Top of the shop, middle and bottom. Which one is it that stands out? Really, that is really the essence of who, the kind of person that you are. Which one's top of the shop? Very often it's the first one that people put out. It doesn't have to be, but I see this pattern over and over again, that it's nearly always the first one is the most important one that people tell us. Okay, so you score that now. Just take a minute or so, pause the video and score yourself. Which is the best? Which is really, really you? Sometimes one can include the others. There's like one that's probably a more overarching that really, really includes the rest, okay? What I want you to do is do the same thing with the other 3 words, the naming words, that are the naming doing words. Have a look at those and decide which is the one, score them 1, 2, 3, but which is the one that really, really is you, describes you. And again, very often, you know, one of them kind of covers the other 2. One of them actually is all of the 3. So have a look at that and decide which one really stands out as the most important. The one that really is you. So take a moment and then come back to me. So, what you've done now is you've just elicited your higher self. I suppose, a description of your higher self, the description of who you really are within. And how you create your purpose from that is very easy. But before you do this, I must give you a disclaimer. You must be aware of something, like 3 things. First of all, when you find your purpose, when you find it, you must not ever share it with anybody else. And what I mean by that is you can share it with people, but never share it with people who are close to you. And I'm going to tell you the reason after, when we discuss how to make it, okay? But it's very important that you mustn't share it, because out there are dream stealers, and you'll be amazed how closely you have dream stealers at your side sometimes. And I'll explain what I mean by that. They don't do it maliciously, but they can steal your dreams. Right, the other two things are, when you find out your purpose, when you read it for the first time and you take it inside and you feel it, you're going to feel disappointed. Right? There's going to be a disappointment. And the reason for that is that you will expect it to be a lot more than what it is. We often, and this was my experience as well, I expected a little bit of a fanfare, bit of a drum roll, flashing lights and everything. And it wasn't that way. In fact, it was almost an underplayed moment of, okay. And the second thing is that when you see your purpose, it will feel absolutely right, normal. It's like, yeah, that's what I've been all of my life. And that's where the disappointment comes from, you see, because the thing is with your purpose, you already know your purpose. You've known your purpose for all of your life, and you've lived by your purpose all of your life. You just haven't had it visual on a bit of paper before. But when you see your purpose and you look to see what it is that you've done all of your life, in the moments when you are being true to yourself, in the moments where you really are in your highest point, it's like, yeah, that's who I am, but that's what I do. All right. And so that's the disappointment, but it's also the knowing, the understanding, the feeling of familiarity. All right, so this is what we do. What we do is this. We just make this statement, I am a. So I want you to write that now on the paper. I am a. And then in the next gap, take down your describing word, your number one describing word. It might be whatever, happy, enthusiastic, dedicated, whatever. Pop that in. And then next to it, pop in your naming doing word. So, for example, I am an enthusiastic helper. For example, yeah, I am a dedicated worker. Yeah, I am an honest leader. Not many of them around these days, but they're coming. All right, so that is how you create your purpose. So do that now. Just pop those in and come back to me. So now you have your purpose. The purpose is very, very simplistic. People expect it to be quite, sort of involved and everything. It isn't. It's very easy. All it is taking the essence of who you are and putting it into a little sentence like I am. Okay? Now, what's the purpose of having your purpose? What is it? What does it do? I mean, did you get that feeling when you looked at it, like saying, oh, is that all? But I already know that. Yeah. If you did, good. If it's a revelation to you, even better. Lovely. But it's very often not a revelation, more of a remembering. Yeah. It's like a realization of something you've already known. So what's the point? What do you do with it once you have your purpose? Well, as I said, the purpose is a map for life. And what happens is this: once you know what your purpose is, when you actually have it at the forefront of your mind, and let me tell you that I did this process maybe 20 years ago, and I constantly make reference to my purpose. I know when my purpose is being fulfilled, and also when it's being called to. Because, for example, and now I'm going to share this with you because you aren't going to steal my dream, all right? And I'll tell you why we don't share this with our loved ones. When I first did this, I came up with, I am an enthusiastic helper. That was and I thought, yeah. And how I knew that was when somebody says to me, can you help me? It's beyond me not to help. I cannot say no. It's just, and it's because this is the intrinsic being of who I am. This is who I am. I'm here to help. And not only that, but I do it enthusiastically. Yes, I'll help you. Come on, let's get this fixed. Right? And isn't it any surprise that I do therapy? Right? That's where I can enthusiastically help people. So that's my purpose. But I was able to look at everything that I did in my life and ask myself, am I able to enthusiastically help people? And basically the business that I run is teaching Spanish. I'm a teacher as well. I teach. I'm not a teacher. I teach. And so in that aspect, I can teach and I can help people and I can be enthusiastic about it. And over the years, what I realize is that within that helper, there's also a teacher, which came out in my list, what I like to do. I like to teach, I like to help. So I know that within helping is teaching. And that's what I do. So what happens is I look at everything in my life, everything that I come across where I have to make a decision. Am I going to do this or not? And this is what you can do. You take your purpose and you've got it written on your soul, really on your heart. And you say at every juncture, am I going to be able to fulfill my purpose? And you know what? 99 times out of 100, you can. In fact, it's very rare that you can do something without fulfilling your purpose. I worked with a lady who was a cleaner and she came up with, I am a happy helper. And she said, but look, I'm just a cleaner. And I said, oh, okay. When you clean, are you happy? She says, I like working. I'm very happy. And I said, and do you feel like your job helps people? Well, yes, it does. I'm cleaning and I'm making the environment nice for people. It helps them so they can work better. So I said, there you are. You're fulfilling your purpose in your job. And it's very rare that you don't fulfill your purpose, but there is one thing. And it's about the golden rule that Ina talks about. It's the golden rule. And it's this one. And it's the common law rule. And hopefully we're going to move to common law, which is do no harm. Do no harm. You see, in your purpose, there is no room to harm people. If I am an enthusiastic helper, or an enthusiastic teacher, then I can't, if I'm going to fulfill myself, I can't on purpose hurt people. That wouldn't be fulfilling my purpose because then I wouldn't be helping them. Yeah? And so whatever your purpose is, it can be fitted into just about anything that you do, as long as you're not hurting people, as long as you're not harming people and things. Right? And I include the whole of the environment, the universe, everything. Harming goes against your purpose, and that makes sense, doesn't it? But apart from that, your purpose can fit into most things. But I must tell you that sometimes it fits in better with some things. For example, when I'm teaching, I'm in my bliss. But when I'm doing therapy, I'm in my bliss. I call teaching my hobby, and I call therapy my hobby. And so what you have to do is take your purpose and look at where in my life am I really in my bliss, when this is really fulfilling my purpose. I'm living on purpose. And what you aim to do is to do more of that. And then you look at where is it in my life that, well, I know I'm fulfilling my purpose to a point, but it's not everything. And I notice that because I get frustrated. then you aim to do less of that. And what you do is you use the Pareto rule, which is the 80-20 rule. And it's a rule that I see repeated. I love numbers. Numbers repeat themselves, but the 80-20 rule is everywhere. And all it is very simplistic. It is 80% of your joy comes from 20% of your activities. Okay? 80% of your joy comes from 20% of your activities. And the flip side, 80% of your frustration comes from 20% of your activities. All right, so you can be mostly joyful in a small amount and mostly frustrated in a small amount. So what the aim is, you look at the 20% that brings joy and see how big you can make that. Make it bigger. And then look at the 20% of frustration and make that smaller. And that is how you start bringing more happiness into your life. Okay, so let me finish now with the warning about sharing your purpose. What happens is this: you do your purpose and you go, I'm an enthusiastic helper, and you say, that's who I am, yay! And you go to your partner or your friend, your good friend, and you go, hey, I've just done my purpose. You know what my purpose is? I'm an enthusiastic helper. And they say, well, that's really nice, lovely. Okay, then 2 days later, you're not at your best and you do something that doesn't quite fit into your purpose, and your partner, in all love, or your friend says, enthusiastic helper, my arse. Yeah, if you were an enthusiastic helper, you wouldn't have done that. So that's a load of bunkum, isn't it? And only loved ones can say that to us. Only the loved ones can get right to the core of our very soul and shatter our dreams. Because strangers wouldn't dare to do it. They wouldn't say that. Yeah, but a loved one, it's amazing what they can say. So we must protect ourselves from our loved ones. But that's why you mustn't share it. It isn't that they do it on purpose, but it's a private thing. Your purpose is a private thing. What happens is you hold it inside and then you express it. So everyone who knows you knows that you do that. But don't give away the words, because the words, this is a spell, all right? These words have power. And I promise you, now that you have your purpose, and let me say to you, if it's not sitting right with you, do it again. Do it again. Have a look at it again. Maybe see if there's something that you've missed, but keep it simple, all right? Use the KISS system. Keep it simple. A purpose like this: I am an enthusiastic and happy and hard-working helper and facilitator and empath. No, that is not a good purpose. You've got to have what overarches, what it is that everything is encompassed in, with just 2 words. I am a blank. That's your purpose. Don't make it complicated, because you know what's within those words. You know what's inside of helper. If you've got helper, you know what that means. All right. It's just this is your map for the rest of your life. This is to show you your path. Okay. So that's how you do your purpose. How was that for you? At the beginning, you often don't quite know what to do with this. Like, you've got it and you go, well, there you are. But trust me, if you hold it in your heart, hold your purpose in your heart, you will find that life will get easier, because it becomes an affirmation. And suddenly, when you know why you're here and you know what you've got to do to be happy, remember, trust me, when you are fulfilling your purpose, you are in bliss. Life is blissful. And that's because you're fulfilling your own self and you're helping other people. Okay, because purposes are all about helping other people, directly or indirectly. And that's our purpose. That's why we're here, to serve others. That's why we've come down here. That's why we all fought to get here these days, to give witness and to be able to help. Okay, so there you are. Take your purpose, go off with it, and use it as your moral compass. It's your moral compass to guide you through life. And I wish you every success. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Have a lovely weekend.